Hey everybody, BrianHaberlin here from Digital Art Tutorials, and here's a quick little tip. This is a great inking tip in Photoshop. People, when they ink in these programs, they want to use conventional inking tools. I want a brush that inks like a brush, or I want whatever. I'm going to show you how you can use some brushes that aren't meant to be inking brushes for great effect in Photoshop on your line art. So, for example, let's say I want to pull out some, he's a little, this big guy over here is a little, he's a little tight. I want to make him a little bit more, pull off some things and stuff like that and everything. I have right now a mixer brush with the bristles on it. And if I go over, you'll see I can start pulling shapes. If I want to have them like start, wisping off a little bit shape-wise. Now you're going to say, "Oh, Brian, that's nice and everything, but it's it's got tones in it, and the rest of the piece doesn't." But here's what you do with that. So I'm just going to kind of get some shapes that I want. That would be, again, very hard if I was just going to ink this shape. So here's the trick. So I've got this nice. This is the shape I kind of want. These are the wisps that I want. Two things you have to do then. You have to filter and run an Unsharp Mask. Filter, Unsharp Mask. And I've got it at about, I'm going to bring it to about 300, and about 1.8 or 2 is probably pretty good. And what that will give us is, as we're converting this to pure black and white, it will help us keep those strokes. If I don't do it, then those strokes will get all kind of mushed together. And then it's image, adjust, threshold, which makes things black and white. And you can see as I slide it around, you have some control over how much of the effect or how little of the effect is there. The preview for threshold is not the most accurate preview in Photoshop. I'll get a lot more detail, so I'm going to hit OK, and then notice what happens. Now I have all those strokes. So it's like a really nice dry brush technique that you can throw back over an image. That was with the mixer brush tool. You can also do it and have some other effects with the smudge tool. Again, people won't think about using this as an inking brush. This is a brush, just so you can see before I use it. I've got scatter on it. It's just got a round shape to it. Okay, scattering. You can always pause the video and check out my settings this way. Smoothing, smoothing doesn't really matter. And then as I come through, see how I can start pulling off these sort of particle-like effects, like he's starting to dissipate into some sort of particle. You can pull some back over here to get a little texture maybe that I might want. You can get a little larger with it. Change the effect. Some more stronger particles, like he's fading off. So just kind of lose that edge a little bit. And then again the same thing. Filter, Unsharp Mask, image, adjust, threshold. And then you get a really nice inking effect that you really couldn't get very easily traditionally inking. This one actually might work a little bit better without having the threshold on it. I don't mind it having a little bit of softness to it. Another one in here is I have a sort of a palette knife brush that I've made. You can see it's got a shape kind of like this. It doesn't have to be the exact shape, but just moves along. There's really almost no settings to the thing. And with this one, if I wanted to get a stronger sort of bolder, aggressive shape to that stuff, and you can get smaller with it. Pull off some other shapes. Get some stuff that's a little less, computery with it. But you can see how I can really start getting this interesting kind of painterly sort of effect with it to help shape things. Again, really kind of, Bob Peak, sort of Bill Sienkiewicz kind of, cool pools kind of stuff. Again, just kind of using it as a painting tool. You can see what's happening up there with the hair. That's a nice effect up there. Let me show you. See, that came out very nice. And you can, be a little jerky with it, moving around, get these kind of nice swirly things going on. And this is great for backgrounds. This is great for all kinds of different little things. I'm just going to go back in now with a regular brush to clean up a little bit before I hit threshold. So I'm just black here. I'm just, again, you don't have to take, that's the thing. It's a computer. You don't have to accept what it does. You can add to it, compensate, make things a little bit more natural. If I go back to my smudge tool, I want to pull up some of that hair a little bit that's up here. Isn't that pretty? That's a really nice. I don't like those last two though. Really pretty kind of, again, just strokes that would be hard to reproduce if you were trying to do this traditionally. And that's what you want to do. If you're going to ink digitally, you might as well take advantage of things you can do here that you can't do in the rest of the world. Now I'm just kind of staccatoing around here and stuff. And I can go to even a smoother brush to smooth out something if I don't really like the look of it. So I'm going to put my hard smudge tool. This is just basically a hard brush with a little bit of transfer on it. And this way, if I want to get rid of these things, I get a little, a little too computery, smooth them out a little bit more, and then I can pull things back and forth and rip them around. And then again, to go to pure black and white again, it's filter, unsharp mask, image, adjust, and threshold. And then you get these really nice shapes that are nice, random, organic kind of shapes. Again, you go back in and use the pen tool to clean up anything you want to clean up here. If anything isn't quite doing what you want it to do, you can also shape these things, all kinds of stuff like that. So there you go. I'll show you a few more of these tricks, but again, this is the idea, is that you're going to use Photoshop to do some inking that would be very difficult for you to do in the real world, and take advantage of doing digital rather than just having digital trying to replicate something else. All right, thanks. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please check out our website, digitalartstutorials.com. And if you have any friends or family you think might enjoy it, please, by all means, share away. There will be a lot more of this stuff coming up. I'm dialing up to do a lot more tutorials, so subscribe and stay tuned for more.